Doey here, ESBR Boxing, and delighted to be joined by Brandon Scott, the man who's done more interviews for ESBR Boxing than me. Brandon, first things first, I don't really care how you are and that sort of stuff. Let's get into it. Where are we?
We are in the best place on planet Earth, Doey. We are in my old amateur boxing gym. You can see the sign there, Premier ABC. For those of you who don't know Premier, everyone knows of Premier in the boxing world, but Premier, this is my old amateur club. I wouldn't be where I was if it wasn't for this gym. I've had some of the best memories of my life because of this gym, and the head man, Stephen Brofio, we all know as Spud. He's around here, he's running around the gym coaching everyone, but he's a legend he's a legend in the amateur boxing scene, and I say Gavin's the best trainer in the world for me right now, and I mean that, he is. Gavin's the best thing that could have happened to me in the pro game, but I owe everything to this gym here, because if it wasn't for Premier, I wouldn't be where I am now, so thank you, Premier.
For those that follow your journey so far, or maybe watch some of our interviews before, we talked about where you were and what you were and who you've become and how you got there and that sort of stuff. You talked then about Premier, like making you who you are, and you wouldn't be the person you are now. What is it about a place like this? Because for those people that don't know, this gym is like right in the middle of Swansea. It's in quite a, I don't want to say like deprived area, but it's quite a city central area. Like, what is it about a boxing gym in a place like this that gives youngsters hope, ambition, something to do? What did it do for you?
Well, obviously I knew Premier had a good reputation, but if you look at any amateur gym that holds records, Premier holds the record for most British champions, holds the record for most Welsh champions, we've had numerous Commonwealth gold medalists in this gym, and I guess, you know, it's like the saying, all the gear, no idea. Well, Premier's the opposite. It's like no gear, but we've got all the idea. You know, this gym, I'm not even going to hide saying it, this is the best gym in Wales, without a doubt. This is the best gym in Wales, and this gym, I think, turned me into a British champion as an amateur within my 15th fight. Now that's crazy, but I wouldn't have done that if it wasn't for this gym. You know, the coaching, the boxers, the level of sparring you get here, this is the best gym and the best place to be.
On the way into the gym, you walk through a little corridor of famous photos, if you want. Not all of these people boxed here, but all these people have had links here. So you look at world champions. There's a picture of Joe Calzaghe on the wall. There's a picture of Enzo Macronelli on the wall. There's pictures of Jay Harris, Ben Crocker, Angelo Dragoni, Andrew Selby, Lee Selby. And there's pictures of Brandon Scott. And before we got rolling here, you spent a good 10-15 minutes shaking hands, talking to kids. Is it weird that your picture isn't just on the wall because you were a kid here, but because they look up to you?
Well, no, I was going to say then, I call that memory lane. I call that the pictures memory lane. But you're saying then Joe Calzaghe, Andrew McCann. I was like, yeah. Brandon, I'm on that wall. Never mind then, I'm on that wall. But no, I'm a Premier boy through and through. I love to come down here when I'm not training in Gavs, because Gavs is training in the earlier days. I love to come down Premier and train, even if it's just to do bags, to help spar the kids. I do a lot here. I feel like this is my second home almost. I don't feel like I'm walking into a boxing gym. I just feel like I'm walking into a place where I've been all my life. So this is, like I said, it's the place to be, but I love it here.
Lastly, before we move on to sort of upcoming fights and so on, what is it about the amateur side of the game that you miss?
Well, I suppose there's that not caring if I win or lose to a degree. Like, I went to watch Floyd Mayweather in the meet and greet he did in Cardiff, and someone asked him what's the biggest difference between amateur and pro, and he said, well, you shouldn't worry about that. He said, because when you turn pro, you get a clean sheet. Your record goes back to 0-0. And when I was an amateur, I put a lot of pressure on myself back then, but now looking back, if you lost as an amateur, it didn't really matter. You think, because as an amateur, you can box every weekend. I had some fights when I boxed within, I think I had like 5 hours notice for some fights. You don't, it's not as serious. It's like the saying amateur means like, not saying not as good, but it's an amateur, isn't it? You just show up, you can have fun. Amateur boxing's a lot more laid back, and as a pro, I'm fully aware now I can't lose. If I lose, it's a big step back for my career, and there's going to be oncoming effects from that. Whereas if I lost from an amateur contest, oh well, it's a bit shit, isn't it? I'll wake up the next day and I'll carry on with my life. So I'd say the biggest thing I missed about the amateurs was just the laid-back funness of it, which I still do enjoy now, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, for people that know you, there's no doubt that you've still got that laid-back element of fun to your ring walks, your training, your fight performances, all that stuff. Speaking of fight performances then, I'm just going to call you out on this. Last time we spoke, you gave it I'm not doing 4-rounders anymore, moving on, stepping up. Your next fight schedule is a 4-rounder. Talk me through it.
I'm a liar. No, I'm joking. Well, obviously this is a Matchroom show now. No, I'm not affiliated with Matchroom in any way possible. I didn't want another 4-rounder at all. I'm not saying they're a waste of time, but it's like I know I could box 6 rounds comfortable, but I have no control over this one. I feel privileged to be on the card, so I'm not going to go barking order saying I want 6 rounds, not 4. They've given me a 4-rounder. I'll take the 4-rounder. But after this, now even if it is another big show, I'm going to have to try because I've had enough 4-rounders now. But I'm not looking over this fight at all. But like I said, it's out of my control.
And it may be out of your control, but I don't know if you want to name names. But there's a name in the offing for this fight, and it's it's not going to be a household name, but it's a name in the offing of somebody who's fought against world level opponents and stuff like that. Is it a step-up fight for you then? Are you starting to look at this and thinking, I need to put something on here?
Well, of course it's a step-up fight. The fight was given to me and I was more than happy with it. It's a step-up fight as I am something Larios from Nicaragua.
Gerson Larios?
Gerson Larios now. Gerson Larios from Nicaragua. Definitely a step-up fight for me. But again, I know that this is a step-up opponent, but I'm not thinking, oh no, this is a harder fight. I'm thinking this is a harder fight, but if I can perform to the ability that I know I can perform at, this is a chance for me to show everyone that I'm more than just a kid who can dress up in a Star Wars costume and be an entertainer. This is a chance for me to show everyone how good I really am.
And just looking back over your record here, Brandon, right, while we've been sort of talking and while we've been prepping, you've had 4 fights now, so you're 4-0. First, you had 1 knockout, as in your second fight, wasn't it? And you haven't lost a round. This guy, Gerson Larios, fought Dennis McCann, didn't lose a round to Dennis McCann. Is the hope that you go out there and it's another 40-36?
No. I'm going out there, I'm going to try to take his head off his shoulders, as simple as that. But obviously I'm not going to go in there thinking I'm going to knock you out. I'm not going in there thinking I'm going to beat you on points. I'm going in there with the mindset of, right little man, you're getting fucked. The same mindset I have for every fight. Now, I know this is a big stage, but I've had people tell me now, look Brand, don't go thinking, oh there's a lot to lose here. There's nothing to lose here. There's no more on this fight than there has been for every other fight I've had. I just know what I have to do, and I've watched him fight. I know what he can do and I know what I can do. Now, I know he comes to try and kill you. He just throws big bombs. I've been boxing for years. I know how to deal with that. Without sounding cocky, I know how to deal with someone trying to kill me. Simple story. I'm going to hit him more than he hits me. But I've been looking at some things and I'm feeling stronger than I've ever felt. I'm training, I'm feeling stronger than I've ever felt. Mentally, I'm feeling stronger than I've ever felt. All I'm saying is if he lasts the 3-6. If he lasts 12 minutes with me, let me tell you, he's earned it.
I'm glad you had to do the maths there, that was good. You talked about the event there and stuff like that. Is there a risk that you're going to become slightly overawed with the occasion? I know you're going to tell me not, right? But to put it into some context, Joe Cordina in his last fight out there to win his world title, knocked out Ogawa in absolutely spectacular fashion. The fans are going to be wanting something big from him, so it's going to be a raucous crowd. There was a Welsh Fight of the Year from last year. There's the rematch of that, Gavin Gwynn and Craig Woodruff on the undercard. Is there a chance that you're going to get a bit overawed with the occasion, or is it simply locked in?
Like I say, it's simply locked in, but everyone knows me. I'm like a magician. I've got stuff coming out of my sleeve left, right and centre, and I know how to get a crowd going. I know how to entertain. Now, for the last few months, I've had 5 things up my sleeve that I've been saving for a big occasion. Now, I'm using 3 of them. On this one event, I'm using 3 of them. Now, this is not even including the fight, so I'm fully coming to steal the show on this one. I've been putting stuff on my Instagram, just teasing people, and everyone's saying to me, what are you doing this for? Why are you putting backflips up on your Instagram? Why are you doing that? You're going to have to see. I've got plenty up my sleeve for this one, and the occasion's not going to get to me. Everyone knows that.
And in our last couple of interviews, we talked about when I'm 21, British title, when I can get to that age, that's what you're coming for. Is there a desire in you to try and win titles before that? Because I know you need to do 6 rounds before you can fight for the Welsh title and so on, but is there a chance you can get a Welsh title fight if we can find someone new for you to fight? Is there a chance for you trying to find other routes, or is it simply building up for hit 21, British title?
Well, I don't want to move fast. I want to move correctly with my career. I'm aware I'm young, and I've said it before, there's advantages and there's disadvantages to me being so young, being a professional boxer. But I set very high standards for myself, and I know I've always had a dream. I've wanted to have a title when I'm still a teenager. But even though I'm a teenager, I don't live my life like a teenager. I live my life like a very disciplined athlete, because that's what I am at the end of the day. I'm a professional boxer. Boxing's my profession. I've quit my job. I used to work 2 jobs. I used to work in a care home and I used to have a plumbing apprenticeship, which I did thoroughly enjoy. I quit both of them just so I could pursue boxing fully. Now, I'm fully aware that my dreams and my aspirations are going to take a lot to get, but that's why I said that's why I work so hard. But I know for me to get to where I want to be, I can't work like the average person would. I work a lot harder. I'd go as far as saying there's no boxer in Wales that works as hard as me. I'd say that openly, because I break my body and I break my mind on a daily basis. I'd go as far as saying. So I'll see where it comes to titles, but I need to get a 6-rounder out of the way first, which I know I can do a 6-rounder. I know I can. So I need to get a 6-rounder out of the way, then we'll see where everything is. But yeah, British title 21, you best believe that's happening, boy.
And just to summarise then, so looking around the gym, there's a lot of kids here that one day they want to be Brandon Scott. They want to have, you're okay, they want to be Brandon Scott. They want to have their pictures up on the wall. What's the advice to, I know a few of these kids in you, I won't name anybody, but what's the advice to, Bill, Bob, Ben, whoever in this gym right now, to become a Brandon Scott, a Ben Crocker, an Enzo Macronelli, a Joe Kazagi? What's the advice?
Well, if you want to be like Brandon Scott, it's quite simple, to be honest. All you've got to do is get an immense 6-pack, become really good looking, develop mad skills, piercing smile, blistering eyes. It's quite easy, to be honest. That's the term to Brandon Scott. No, but no.
You're a knob.
I know. But no, if you want my honest opinion, just literally don't care. Like, I do some things, and people are like, why are you doing that? And I'm just like, because I just don't care. I know I have one life, yeah? People were saying to me before my 3rd fight, when I flipped over the ring, people who knew I was doing it, they're like, don't do that, you could fall and everyone will laugh at you. And I was like, I don't care. Like, what's the worst that can happen? People will laugh at me. Ooh, I've walked into a ring as Darth Vader. You've got to learn to live your life and enjoy it as yourself. And that's the main thing. But I was being serious about the 6-pack and the looks. That genuinely, I don't take that back.
Brandon, what's the plan now? When we wrap this up, what's the plan? Are you training here? Are you sparring? Are you just here to see some of the kids in Spud? What's the plan?
No, I come down to see Spud, obviously, and I got great people like you coming down to interview me here, Doey. So I will train here. I trained before in Gavin's. Obviously, we did a hard session in Gavin's earlier, and you made us do a run. So I'm not a professional runner. I'm not going to run again today. So I'll go up now and I'll work on my power for Gerson Larios. I think his name was there. Gerson, I'm coming for you, boy!
Brandon Scott, always a pleasure, never a chore. Thank you very much.
Before I go, I just want to say Doey wasn't very happy with me last time, so because I ended it, I went, my name is Brandon Scott, and I said, he knows what I said, so I'm going to end it with this. My name is Brandon Scott, and I hope you have a fantastic day. P.S. I've got a 12-inch